Hey guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. My name is Jack.F, I'm a freelance videographer, photographer and video editor, producing weekly content helping you take your video editing and videography to that next level. So if that's something you are interested in, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel and check out some of my other videos for some helpful tips, insights and that sort of stuff. I did a previous video a couple of weeks ago on what I would do if I was getting started from scratch in the videography industry, and there's a lot of good helpful tips for you beginners out there, so go check that video out if you want some helpful tips getting started in the videography industry. So today guys, I've got a special kind of video. I say this in every single video, but this one is actually a very special one because I'm doing my first ever Q&A with you guys. Yes, a lot of you sent me some questions, some of them were repeats, so I've narrowed them down to my top 10 questions, Q&As that you guys have asked me over on the Instagram. If you are not following my Instagram, what are you doing with your life? Go give me a follow, drop me a message if you need some help or anything like that. Getting started in videography or anything video editing, it's at Jack.F Productions. Go drop me a follow and see if I can help you out if you need any help. So without further ado, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to get straight into this Q&A because there's a lot of good tips in here and a lot of some good questions that have been asked, and not a lot of people in this industry have covered them, and it's really helpful for both beginners, intermediates and advanced people. These are things that I'm just speaking from my truth, what I've done. Well, I've been running my business for the past 2-3 years now, and how I've been able to come across and deal with these questions through my own personal experience. With all of that out of the way, let's jump straight into this. So number one, how do you build your portfolio when you were just starting out? Now this is a very good question because I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was getting started. First of all, you got to know what kind of niche. If you want to go niche, you can, but you find out what kind of videography you want to do. For me, it's live events. I absolutely love them. I love captivating the vibe and then editing that into a nice little afternoon movie highlight video. It's just what I like to do. But if weddings is more your thing, focus on weddings. Once you've figured that out, what you can then do is you can do work for free. I know this is kind of frowned upon in this industry, but if you are brand new to it and you want to build your portfolio and no client really wants to take you on because you don't have a portfolio, do work free. Target the lower tier clients, right? Maybe you want to get into weddings. See if you can target some of your friends' mums who are getting married or something, or try target some people who don't have the biggest budget, or even do it for free, but then again, it does depend on the type of type of videography you're doing, because weddings are quite high pressure. You might want to get paid a couple hundred, £200 for your time because it's a wedding. Doing work for free is very frowned upon in this industry, but it really helped me getting started, building my foundations for my videography career, and really solidifying my portfolio for live events. I was going to the nightclubs being, yo, do you want to shoot you a club video for free? And people can't argue with the price tag free. If you don't want free work, there's something wrong with you. So the second part to this is getting a portfolio from someone else. I've got a friend who's in this space as well called Jack Cole. Go check him out, really big guy. He's running his own community, and if you join that community, you get all some of his portfolio for free. With his blessing, you can pass that off as your own. So see if you can use some of your mates' work or something like that. If you have a friend that's a videographer, see if you can use some of their early pieces of work that they're not really proud of, but you can with their blessing, you can use it as your own. So those are the two ways that I personally would build my portfolio if I was starting out. Do work for free and see if you can use some other videographers' portfolio to just get yourself started. So question number two. What do you do when a client doesn't pay? Now this one is a personal favourite of mine. The amount of times I've had a client be late with a payment, not paying me at all, but I've been paid in the end because of these messages I'm going to go through now. But the nightmare clients, leave a comment below if you've had a nightmare client before. They are just the worst. My favourite story will get pinned. Nightmare clients, I hate them. So what do you do when a client doesn't pay you? This actually starts before you do pre-work, before you do the work. So what you want to do is when you get on a Skype call or something, before you start the work, you agree on what you're going to do. So you're going to shoot them a 2-minute highlight video. You want to get all of that in writing, whether that be on Instagram, email. Email is preferred because if it does end up going south and going to court, you want to have it on email because it's more professional. and you should be communicating via email, but make sure you have it in writing. Make sure, alright, I'm going to make a times 1 2-minute highlight video with like maybe 10 pictures. Get it in writing, and then what you're going to do is you're going to, I don't know, depending on if you do this or not, what I would do is I send out an invoice. Before I do the work, I send out an invoice for a 50% deposit, so they've secured that date. Some of you don't really want to do that, which I understand. If you're going to send out a deposit, send out a deposit. Make sure they pay it. If they don't pay it, they're not booked, and you're still taking bookings for that date. So make sure they pay that deposit if you want to go down the deposit route. If you don't, complete the work, send it off with a watermark, and then that's going to force them to pay you basically, because they're not going to get the highlight video, the video, whatever it is, without the watermark, and they're going to be able to use it. So, you know, edit the video, send it off with a watermark on it, and then send an invoice due within 7 days. You know, you can find plenty of invoice templates online. Make sure you know, get your date right, you get the invoice number correct, you get all of their details you want. It's their full name, their email address, and their physical address. So once you've done that, wait 7 days. If they haven't paid it within 7 days, send another invoice, but change it to overdue. Put like overdue somewhere on the like in big bold red letters somewhere on the invoice. I like to do in the top left of my invoices, overdue, and then give it another 7 days, and if they don't pay it within that 7 days, what you are then going to do, this always gets them, the ones who like to wait off and haggle a little bit, what you're going to do then is write a letter before action. Now what a letter before action is a very serious and stern letter to the client saying, you know, I've sent you 2 invoices, you've got an outstanding debt now. When this letter's been written, or something, whenever you receive this letter, you've got 7 days to pay it basically, otherwise I'm going to take you to court. If you want, you know, kind of like a bit of a guide on how to write a letter before action, I can make a video on that, but write a letter before action, send it off, make sure you get it tracked and traced. So make sure you get it, the post office to confirm that it's been delivered, and then wait 7 days after it's been delivered. And if they still haven't paid that, which I haven't personally come across, they've always paid it. The few letters that I've had to send out, they've always paid it on time, you know, within that 7-day window. But if they don't, then it's off to court. Now I can't really speak from personal experience because I've never taken a client to court. I don't want to get to this stage, but if you end up taking someone to court, this is where the previous points came in. Make sure you have everything in writing. Make sure you've completed all the, you know, the scope of work. You know, you've done all the stuff that you said you agreed you were going to do. Make sure you've delivered it all on time. And make sure you've done nothing wrong. If you've done nothing wrong, the court will just, you've got to pay them, you know, pay up. But make sure you've done nothing wrong. Obviously, I can't speak from personal experience because I've never taken any of my clients to court. But if you need some further help, just give it a Google or a YouTube, and you know how to take clients to court. But make sure you have everything in writing. Make sure you have everything backed up with evidence. Because if you don't have any evidence, you don't have it. It's just word of mouth. The court is just going to throw out your case. So make sure you have everything in writing. You have all of the dates and stuff of, you know, when you sent out the invoice, when you filmed, when you delivered the deliverables, and you'll get your money. So I hope that helped with that question. Third question. What is the best video editing software? Now, I can only speak from a handful of video editing softwares that I've worked with over the years, but the best one is, from my personal experience, is Adobe Premiere Pro, hands down. I've tried DaVinci, I've tried, after iMovie and stuff like that. Premiere Pro just trumps them all the time in terms of effects that you can add, control, everything, the user interface. Even though the new updates are a little bit meh, Premiere Pro is just the best. And when you learn Premiere Pro, if you want to get into photography, graphic design, it's the same layout for like Photoshop, After Effects and stuff. So what you're learning with a Premiere Pro can be applied to the other Adobe softwares. So I really do highly recommend Adobe Premiere Pro. In my personal experience, it's the best video editing software out there. So if you're looking to get started, get into video editing, I'd highly recommend Adobe Premiere Pro. fourth question, what's the best camera for videography? I always get asked this like practically daily by you guys. The best video editing, I mean the best camera is anything really. You know, you can do a lot of good recordings and videos on, you know, a 2004 DSLR. When I was getting started, I used the, what was it, the Nikon D3300, I think. Yeah, it was that. And I made some nice videos from it, but you know, what's the best camera? There really is no best camera because they're all good, they're all great in their own aspects. But in terms of the big three companies that produce the, you know, best cameras is Nikon, Canon and Sony. Sony is very good for videography, but the rest of them do the same. If you want to know what I shoot on the Nikon Z6. It's a full frame mirrorless camera. The lenses that I use is, well, the one I'm shooting on right now is a 17 to 50mm 2.8 by Sigma. So that's the kind of like the best camera, I guess you could say. That's what I shoot on basically, but the best camera, I mean, all of them are really good in their own aspects. Just make sure it's kind of, you know, a relatively new camera. You know, it's not like a 2000 camera, otherwise it's going to be a little bit behind on the times. So going on to the next question, the fifth question, what's my end goal? My end goal is to travel around the world with artists. I want to try that quite a bit. But ultimately my end goal is to just be financially free. I want to be financially free in every aspect, you know, go wherever I want to go, do what I want, and not be held back by money, and, you know, do this really full time. You know, I'm kind of like full time right now. I'm going to be dropping out of university soon to go on full time, because I'm at that point now where I can get enough work. But yeah, that's my end goal really, just to be financially free and just do what I want when I want. Make videos for you guys, and I guess the end goal for YouTube is to just keep on growing, hopefully reach 1 million subscribers, but that might be far-fetched with my 200 right now, but gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep doing this for years. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and we're seeing some progress. So yeah, that's really the end goal for me, for my business really. But yeah, going on to question number 6 now. What is the best type of videography? Now, the best type, yeah, again, I see it's common thing, the best, the flashiest. Honestly, guys, the best type of videography is whatever you like. If you like shooting weddings, you're gonna like weddings, you're gonna think that's the best videography. For me, I love doing live events, I love doing nightclubs. For me, you know, the best type of videography is gonna be live events, nightclubs, you know, just raves, festivals, that type of thing. But the best type of videography is just what you enjoy. But on the flip side of that, the best videography in terms of paying is either going to be corporate or weddings. You know, you can earn quite a lot of money through corporate and weddings. And there's a couple of others, you know, the higher tiers, well, higher tier in any of these videography niche like industries pays well, but in terms of, you know, average, I would say weddings is the best in terms of payment, you know, how much you can charge. Corporate, again, not so much with wedding, on that kind of like level of weddings, but it does pay really well, especially for lower tiers as well, because it's just corporate money. But yeah, for the best type of videography is whatever you love doing. Don't let money kind of be a factor in it. Well, do let it be a factor in it, but don't let it cloud, you know, what you want to do. If you love doing festivals, go do festivals, bro. You'll reach a level where you can go full time if you keep at it. So moving on to the next question. How do you get your first payment? Now, funnily enough, I've actually covered this on the channel. I'll link the video up there. I go really in depth on how to get your first payment. But ultimately, what you do is you agree on the scope of work with a client. Right, going to make you a highlight video, 2-minute highlight video for £100, and then once you've done that, you're going to send it off with a watermark to the client, and then you're going to raise an invoice. You're going to make an invoice, and then you just search invoice templates. You can get one, customize it to, you know, how you want to be for your branding, your logo, your color scheme, all that sort of stuff. And then you're just going to put a description, a brief description of, you know, alright, highlight video done, how much they've got to pay you, how much is due, say £100. You're going to put your bank details on. Then all you're going to do is just download that as a PDF, and then email that to the client, whatever their email is, and boom, you've been paid. And if you're not being paid, go back to the previous question on how to actually get paid. But that's ultimately how you get your first payment. Again, if you want a more in-depth, more niche, video on this, go check that video up there in the cards. But yeah, that's ultimately how you get your first payment. Next question: how did I get into videography? Oh, now this is a good one. So my journey really, I mean, I've been shooting videos for ages now. I've been doing them ever since I was a kid, The next big GTA YouTube and Minecraft trolling. I used to do a lot of trolling on Minecraft and stuff. But like when I really started, my parents and I, saw that I had a bit of a knack for video editing and videography. Was about, when was it? It's either 2000, I think it's about 2016. So my dad actually used to run his own events, property events, like live events, speaking and stuff. And he used to watch Gary Vee a lot. I don't know if you know who Gary Vee is, but Gary Vee is a big guy in the social media world. And he has a daily thing, he has a vlog called Daily V. And my dad basically wanted to make his own vlog. And he called it D-Vlog, and I filmed it on my iPhone. I edited it in iMovie, and when I showed my parents, like, whoa, he's actually kind of got a bit of a knack for it. So that's kind of where my journey starts with videography. And then I went to college, kind of got into some live events and stuff. My first ever videography job was for my dad, I believe. I was shooting on my DSLR, but I didn't have a gimbal for it, so I had one of those. I've got it somewhere. I've got like one of those Ronin, those DJI Ronin cameras, the ones that can fit your phone on like that. I was running around with my phone like that. And yeah, that's my first ever videography job. That's how I've got into it. I went to college, graduated with really good grades. And yeah, just went from there really. That's how I got into videography, just through YouTube, like doing just YouTube videos, to be honest. You make videos for fun. And then oh, I've got a bit of an interest in that, and then you just kind of snowball from there. So yeah, going on to the next question, last two now. What would you do differently if you were just starting out? Right, the first thing that I would do differently if I was just starting out was take every single opportunity that you can get. Don't say no to any opportunity, because you do not know where that client or that connection will lead you. I've done work for some students, and they've been coming back to me, I did it for like £50 free, when I was actually getting started out, and I was actually younger than them at the time, and I've gotten some, work, I've got repetitive work because of it, because I said yes. Don't be turning down opportunities if you're beginning, because you never know where that client will lead you, where that connection will lead you. So that's one thing I would do differently. I would always say yes to opportunities. Don't think you're all high and mighty just because you're a beginner and stuff. Oh, look at me, I'm a videographer now. But yeah, I kind of turned down quite a lot of opportunities that I do think would have led to more work, looking back on it now. But hey, you can't change it. But that's one thing I would do differently, is say yes to opportunities, to every single opportunity. And I guess another one is be confident. I guess if I talk to my old self, be more confident. Because as I said, I do a lot of live events, especially for my dad. I'd always be in the back of the room, just kind of like on my little camera. Never really go and get some candid shots of the audience, going up, asking them how the day's going, interacting with the audience. But that's one thing I would do differently, is never say no to an opportunity, and be more confident. That's one thing I would do differently if I was starting out. And the final question, how do you get consistent clients? Now this is another one I guess quite a bit. There's two main consistent client types that you're going to have. Consistent client number one is going to be a client on a retainer. Now what a retainer is basically like a monthly payment, and like you agree, all right, I'm going to come in, shoot 5 Instagram reels for you for £200 every month. That's a retainer. You get them on a retainer. You do monthly work, weekly work, daily work, whatever it is, and you do work for them all of the time. They're kind of like in-house a little bit, kind of like in-house freelance. That's how you get consistent clients for retainers. And I guess another consistent client, more of a freelance basis, is a loyal client. You want to make a really good video. I've got a loyal client called Callum. I do a fight night for him, and I host his fight nights and stuff. So just get loyal clients, make good videos, and they'll always come back to you. You know, be a nice person, be presentable, don't be a bit of a a goofball. You know, be someone nice they can talk to, have a nice conversation with them, because someone's more likely to come back to you if you're a nice person, if you've got a good personality and you make them laugh and stuff. So make sure you do good work for them. You offer, you might offer a retainer. And if you don't want a retainer, if they want more on a freelance basis, that's another consistent client. You always want to be the first thought that comes into the head. So if someone thinks of, oh, I need a videographer based out in Manchester, you better think that I'm the one at the top of their head, because if I'm not, someone else is taking that work. And I guess another way you could get a consistent client is through word of mouth. So if you've got a consistent client and then one of their friends needs a videographer, that's, I guess, another way you could get a little bit of consistent work, is by getting, word of mouth, kind of just with your words spreading. But the two main fundamentals is on a retainer and getting a loyal client. That's just basically how you can make a living as a freelancer. It's consistent work, consistent loyal clients. And yeah, that's been it for the questions. I had more questions, but most of them were just different abbreviations of the clients I've been through today. But yeah, I've enjoyed this video. If you guys, kind of like this video, I'll do another Q&A. I'm going to see how this interacts, see if you guys like this. But yeah, apart from that, it's been me. If you like videography, video editing, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. And yeah, if you want to see what I would do if I was getting started as a beginner, go check that video up there, link in the cards. And make sure you turn on bell for notifications every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you for watching, guys. My name's Jack.F, and I'll see you on the next video.